Hello everyone, it's Open House Thursday on Your View. Welcome to the show. I am Morayo Afolabi Brown as always. I have my lovely co-host here. Hi ladies.
Alright.
Hi Jumoke, what's going on? How you doing?
Well, I'm doing very well. I thank God for length. We had the Hash Wednesday service yesterday where we did Holy Communion and I took hash on my head. It was belated during the day that I realized what Mariah was saying, that Shibi, you are Daystar. And is every Christian who isn't Catholic is a Protestant, because we're all protesting. And regardless of what we're protesting, we all agree on one thing, and that is Easter. So you may not fast during Lent. For instance, you people did your own fast early in the year, but Lent precedes Easter, and every Christian believes in Easter, regardless of if you fast or not. So we pray that at this season of consecration, that God will hear our prayers.
Prayers that change you, you know. You are not praying.
Amen. How you doing, Tokwe?
I'm good. Good regardless of whatever is thrown at me. I'm excited about what the future holds.
And we all. Great.
In a good place generally.
Nima Akasha Zibiri.
Today is our area day.
Hey!
And I'm sure they are ready
It was
to
this
go
weekend,
now.
right?
Yeah.
It's this weekend, the wedding is this Saturday, but today we are taking the low,
The number one
the list. We are meeting all the terms of the wife, the list things that they've asked.
She had the
us.
number one, the senior wife.
She's the senior wife.
Hey.
I'm the senior wife.
Senior
Let me
wife.
say that I'm the senior wife. But the senior wife has a lot of duties. I'll be leading the team, and I hope I won't be kneeling down. Because yes, we don't kneel, and I didn't kneel, but I'm marrying a Yoruba girl.
Emma kneel down.
I will not.
Oh.
Be kneeling.
So that means it's a traditional wedding, really?
No, wedding. They are Kwara Ilorin, so maybe they're doing the house
it's a
kind of
little
thing where we
different,
take. But we do it too now, so.
I didn't do all of that. I was a senior wife in my husband's younger brothers. I was totally off the radar.
You didn't kneel down.
I was just somewhere. I was just somewhere.
She's the one that welcomed the new
I came
wife.
as a guest. I was a guest.
Right,
The Yoruba culture was just...
I'm too lax these
Like
days.
someone said yesterday, say yawo jacket and skirt, yeah? That kind of thing.
Right.
That's one.
How you doing, Owa?
Very well, thank you.
Good to see you.
Good to be here. We're having fun.
I can see that. Today is Daddy Gio's birthday.
Yeah, we
He's
heard.
75 years old today. Happy birthday to the General Overseer of the RCCG. Yes, so he's so you should feel blessed.
I'm so happy for
And
him.
you share the same month with the. I'm talking to you, Auntie.
Everybody.
Sorry?
I said you should feel blessed that you share the same month with.
that is
the
a
General.
Haitian like I am.
Yeah.
Well,
Let me interrupt Mariah.
Daddy Gio,
We don't do astrology in Christianity.
Congratulations. you know how to do.
Everybody go and see Mariah's Kilode video on social media.
Yes, so
It's
this
trending.
Kilode matter. Please do yours and hashtag was Ugochi and Veronica, our anchors, news anchors, started this thing. I think a couple of days ago. I did my video. Akeade Olafusito did his own video.
Okay, now.
Everybody should start doing their own video. Please post it on hashtag Kilonde.
No,
Kilonde with the N. Kilonde. So
Please,
that.
do you know
And
the
I'll still
meaning
hashtag TVC Connect so that we can all be part of the whole Kilonde
Kilonde.
family.
Do you know the meaning of Uwayo?
Kilonde.
Oyoluwa.
Mami water, Kilonde. All right, let's take a break. When we come back, we'll look at the front pages of the newspaper. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Welcome back. We're going to start with Punch. Militants threaten MTN, others, as Obasanjo berates South African leaders. Mother, 3 children murdered in Lagos. Jonathan will lead PDP. Peace process, says Fayoshe. Picture here of court dismisses terrorism, 5 other charges against Kanu. Senate probes alleged non-remittance of 5.1 trillion by the NNPC. Police arrest Peace Corps commandant, 49 others in Abuja. Rivers rerun, INEC police officers face murder, bribery, money laundering charges. Senate confirms Onogen, South gets CGN after 30 years.
Imagine.
Oyo SSG wrote 4.7 billion naira fraud petition against Ladoja, says witness. And police to prosecute 14 suspected cultists in Ondo.
take the Onogen story in another newspaper. I was going to mention the human angle story of a lady who was killed with 3 of her children between the ages of 4 and 9, and they lived in an uncompleted CNS building in Ikorodu. Speculations are that they were killed by ritual killers. This happened yesterday morning at 2 a.m. You know, this hoodlums just entered into the CNS church and butchered the woman and her children.
They had to find out what caused it. They don't.
You know, I mean, I feel bad about this kind of things, but I also feel sympathize with the Commissioner of Police in Lagos State. It's like working overdrive. These kind of things happen. People kidnapping. There's like, the guy must be overworked in Lagos State. I was just thinking about it. There's so much of these crime going on in our state.
May their souls
So rest in peace. Amen. Moving on to The Nation. DSS probes ex-governor's link with militia leader. Picture here of Funke Oshonaike with the governor playing table tennis at Lagos State to take over the National Stadium. IPOB Chief Kanu to face 5 charges. Power supply gets 701 billion naira boost. And reports CBN disburses $989.6 million to firms and others.
Yeah,
all right.
DSS probing ex-governor Suswan with, and then they're connecting him with the militia leader. His name is Tewaze Akwasa. They said he's been declared wanted for a very long time. He's is also known as Ghana. And they said most of that there are some properties that Suswan is building, and they have linked probably among his workers are about 2 Israelis or something. But he has come out to say that he thinks that they're just trying to frame him up. There's really nothing like.
And his associate said
like
he's
that.
a man of peace.
Well, they found ammunition with him.
They found
He's a man of
ammunition,
peace.
like
They
he's
found
building.
ammunition.
That's what his associates are saying. He's
We
a
can
man of
almost
peace.
take it for granted in Nigeria that every military group is, sponsored by politicians.
Certainly.
You know how politicians use these groups prior
Yeah.
to elections and
Certainly.
to win offices.
Yeah.
So please.
Quick addition. Holistically, if we talk about having illegal ammunition, this is something a lot of politicians are associated with.
Yes.
So if we want to make it illegal, then we should make it totally illegal that we prosecute some, make a scapegoat, and
Yes,
desist
sir.
from letting other people carry ammunition.
I wanted
like
to
that.
talk point on this 701 billion naira that the
boost in Lagos.
I must say that
Gencos are going to get,
Power has
hopefully.
been improved in my.
But the Gencos, the issue has always been gas, and hopefully now they're going to be able to pay some of their outstanding debts. So hopefully, according to the report, power should improve pretty soon.
We've had good power
Moving
supply
on
for a while
to
now.
Vanguard.
They say we
Kano,
have 7,000
IPOB not
megawatts
unlawful group, says court. Onogen confirmed CJN. Gunmen kill mother, 3 children in church. Obasanjo blasts South African leaders. NNPC shuts down Warri refinery. And corrupt Nigerians hide stolen money in caskets in remote villages, as says Senate. And security agents raid Peace Corps commandant, 49 others arrested. So Onogen, he was confirmed yesterday.
I think I've been sort of following up the story because it's it seemed that it was late, but we're happy that it's finally been done.
Vice
It
President.
took 1 hour, 10 minutes of interview, screening with the Senate for him to be confirmed. And within that few, not an hour plus, he was able to confirm what he was going to do, how he was going to improve the what is going on, 6 points that he would use to improve the system, focusing on the fact that it is not just the judiciary. You need to have the lawyers need to build up a good case.
Yes,
the police. The police need to do proper investigation so that the judge can now put in his judgment in time. So he also did not rule out the fact that we might have a special court for corruption. He also mentioned the fact that some people within the Senate are people that are guilty of taking cases that should end in appeal to the Supreme Court, thereby clogging the system at the Supreme Court. He mentioned a lot of things that I think makes me feel comfortable with him as a person.
Yes.
But most importantly, we are breaking a jinx of 30-year-long break of having a particular group of an important part of our country not being represented at this level of government. So it's a good one.
Great stuff.
You start to feel a little bit more comfortable.
Yeah,
now.
it's a good one. It should have been done immediately.
Anyway, that's
It dragged up a bit though.
Moving on to, I had watched the session, and there was a question one of the senators asked. I'm trying to even see how he coined it, but it was more like, do you think it's appropriate for us to have the longest standing judge to become the Supreme Court, just the CJN,
Yes,
because the oldest, because that might lead to some sort of, would he be able to actually exert his duties as an older man? Because of that was an issue, but I guess he was able to answer that question.
Also, the issue of special courts for corruption, he mentioned that judges are a product of a corrupt society. So having special courts is not what is going to stop it, it's changing the procedure. That you have lawyers who are still elongating cases. So have special courts, as far as the procedures remain the same, nothing will happen.
3 years there.
Daily Sun, Jonathan asks Sheriff McCarthy to step down. Senate confirms Justice Onogen as CGN. Lagos ready to take over National Stadium, says Ambode. Military DSS police raid Peace Corps office. APC governors NWC meet over Buhari. And by Biafra, court dismisses 6 charges against Kanu. Let's talk about the Lagos State.
Yeah, I'm very excited about Dalong
handing over. Finally, right.
is handing over the national stadium to Governor Ambode to manage. And I'm happy because on Saturday I was at the Teslin Balogun Stadium, and there's a particular club that has brought a school to Nigeria. And my sister was telling me that if I had come to that segment where they built, if you go in there, you think you're actually abroad. You think that is like the club. That if I had gone there 3-4 months ago, that there were water leaking down the roof and all that. We know that we have so much, but we do not have the funds to maintain it. So I was sitting in that in the stadium while they were playing, the boys, while they were playing. I looked at them, I said, these people can actually pay money to come and watch.
Certainly.
So he was saying, the governor was saying that he knows that sports, he's trying to prove a point that sports can actually bring us out of recession if we can get it right. So hopefully, we know the standards of Lagos State, that it is always focused on excellence. So I think
it's not only sports. He said his government is focused on tourism, entertainment, arts, and sports.
So he's on the right track.
All track.
That's visionary leadership.
Do you understand?
You can see
one
have a picture of what you want to do.
Lapsing over the other. We're seeing the roads improving. Yes, the breaking down of shops affected my parents and every other, a lot of people. But we're seeing that there's progress on ground, and that's what we want. We want to see things moving forward.
Yeah, patching up
I wanted to. Oh, the IPOB story. Go ahead. Go ahead.
It's not the papers. The Kano story yesterday. Justice Yako Binta had, quashed all the charges. He had about 11 charges, and that brings me to proliferating charges. It's normal in the system where you have prosecutors just had all the charges, and then whatever one you succeed in establishing gets the person.
Says that one of which was terrorism, saying that IPOB is not an illegal group.
Exactly, they removed all the shafts, and we finally have 6 of them that 5 of them that will be facing fully. Okay. So they took their plea yesterday.
All right, our last
one of that was abusing the president.
No,
anyway,
those
we can't take this day, but we'll just read the headlines. After Senate confirmation, Justice Onogen is now new CGN. Osinbajo gets security briefing, more equipment acquired to fight Boko Haram. Attempt by Senate committee to extort money from local government chairman exposed. Court upholds right of Nigerian child to free primary education. And Buhari rules out sale of refineries, approves new investment model.
I'm super happy for the free child education.
Unfortunately, we cannot take this day. When we return, is our distinct Thursday. So we discussed a really, really hot topic today. How well do you know your spouse? Again. Stay with us. We'll be right
back. Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Thanks for staying with us. We have heard and experienced cases of people who discover strange and shocking revelations about their spouses after they get married. They find out they're not what it seemed they were before they got married, and they have left in shock and distraught in what to do. Nollywood actress Tonto Dike comes to mind. She made some shocking revelations about her husband when asked about her marriage on social media. She said, "I am okay. No one knows how many STDs I have treated or pain I have known. My marriage was based on gross lies, deceit, scam, and many more darkness. I love the man and I take all the blame." So we ask, how well do you know your own spouse? You can call us on 080668014. You can tweet to us at TPC Connect. Please hashtag your view TBC so you can read your tweet. Tonto Dike is not our topic for today. We don't want to. We don't really care about her issues, and we don't want to bring another woman's issues to fore here.
Though she brought it to fore.
Yeah. But the focus of our conversation really is how well do you really know your spouse, even as a man marrying a woman or a woman marrying a man. How well and how will you manage the information you discover after marriage? So let me. I know it's difficult for everyone. Who wants to go first?
I'd like to go
Please,
first.
John. Okay, go ahead. Help us.
And I know that they say that you can never know your spouse 100%. Now, until you get married, before you find out some things, especially the bed things. For instance, you may never know that he snores. Until
or is he
after
competent
marriage,
on the bed?
or how big or how small, if you like it or you don't like it, all of those you will find out after marriage. You shouldn't.
And when you now find out, oh, you know,
you have to cope, no need.
Your cross, you have to carry
take
your cross.
the things that you know, in fact, nobody is perfect. So you make up your mind to stick with the person with the much good you know of them, hoping that things don't change. And the only constant thing in life is change. Even you're not the way you were 5 years ago. So there'll be things about you that your spouse is just finding out about you. But going back to the issues raised in our pilot study, deceit, lies, she mentioned, meaning that she knew, I'm talking about Tonto Dike, that all the jewelry and expensive things that she put out on social media, that they were lies. So she would buy herself things and put it on social media that, hey, my boo bought me this. She knew what she was getting into. So when you now say deceit and lie, who was deceiving who?
No, but that is a lie that a lot of women are told to do. Because we get coached to say that even when you can afford to buy yourself a car, when you buy it, to cover the shame of the man that cannot afford it, give him that prideful place to say that my husband bought me the car. Okay, I'm using a new phone. I know that I paid for the phone, but I'll say my husband bought me the phone. So that people will respect my husband, thinking that he can afford to do this, with the hope that when he gets to that position that he can do it, because I've given him the respect, even when he didn't have, he will do what is rightfully his.
So it was the best
So
intentions.
I can agree that she was just doing it to hype a man.
But she was lying.
That was
It's not our business. We are only hearing about it because things didn't work out. However, when we go back to the issue of how well we know our spouse before marriage or even during marriage, things you discover that shock you, this happens to everybody. Because when we are courting, we put our best foot forward.
Certainly.
We put our best face forward. We want to be the best and appeal most. To be more appealing to the person. So now you're in the house with the person, you cannot keep up that for a long time. So if you're a scattered person, and every time he comes to your house and you're cutting, everything is neat. When you're married, maybe the first week is neat, the second week is neat, but the third week you wake up, you don't lay the bed, because that is your nature. So you might try to live up to it, then you will discover over time. But the most important things in marriage, the crucial thing, your character, the personality of the person, those are things that one must look out for and be wise. Love is not blind in not knowing that your man is holding you tightly in a way that is harmful. That man might one day raise his hand and beat you. You must note those things. Those are things that you don't let yourself get deceived in saying, not a big deal.
It's just very
if a man is snoring, I found out my husband, I had no idea. Jeez. But I tried. Yes, I had to get. I got earplugs so that it was a time I could just sleep. So yes, well, there are a lot of us. We're coping with it. You have to deal with it. It can't change.
My own issue was when I was before I got married to my husband. Oh, I was so prayerful. Jim. I was the perfect church girl. I'm always no sex before marriage. Let's do it nicely. I pray at night, wake up 2 a.m. I'm always binding and casting. My husband goes, very religious girl. I like her. So proud to. After marriage finished, Jesus Christ of Nazareth. God has answered the prayer. I was like, what that prayer used to do? What happened to you? I was like, I'm praying now. I'm still praying. So it took a while. I went totally off it a while. It was just now that I've gotten back my tempo. But then the first year, second year of marriage, then it was like, wow, I'm pregnant. I can't wake up at night. Oh, I'm feeding the baby. The whole works. So my husband was really shocked because my husband likes to pray. So, you used to be very prayerful. I mean, yes, but I don't work on it. But that was, he thought I was this really, really spirit coco, you know. But unfortunately, so for him, it was a downer.
It was a shocker.
It was a shocker that, okay, Mara is not as spirit coco as she used to act like. But I mean, I'm getting back there now because I'm back to that.
But just remember something. Some people that formed that they were virgin before marriage and they discovered that they had. As in,
there are women like that.
You pretend all through that.
That's a ground for divorce.
Yes, a ground for divorce.
It is a ground for divorce.
That's deceit.
It is deceit.
That's major deceit.
Well, for me, I don't think I hid anything. But I always thought, with my this attitude I put of a strong-willed woman, don't tell me what to do, that kind of thing, and it was just like, whatever you want, until after the marriage. And that's how it was. When I met him, I used to say to him, you don't know me, you don't know the extent. I'm a very stubborn girl. It's what I want, and he said, whatever he wants. In my house, then they used to say, your malu don't come more, because anything I want,
he'll give it to you.
The very next day, as in the morning after, I woke up to reality, and I couldn't get over the shock. I almost ran away because, Madam, sit down. I sit properly. What is wrong with you? And we're still having that clash, and I'm like, why didn't I see this?
This is what we signed up for.
I knew you. I'm still in shock over it. Still now, 8 years, I'm still feeling like, how come I didn't see this thing? Because I used to look out for it. I'm always someone that, you know, I have an opinion. Yeah. And anybody that would not listen, at least even deliberate with me,
so that was key for you.
I don't want to even have a relationship with that person. So I thought I had crossed that bridge. And every time we have those issues, I'm like, wait, let me even tell you. Say, no, this matter is done. I've said what we're going to do. Just, let's do it.
What she was avoiding.
I'll be like, why? Come on, this and it still hurts me all the time when it does it. I'm always wondering that,
So there's
really no marriage where you have it all put together. You always get your shockers. They always come.
True.
So I don't know how to tell you to prepare, but I think you run to God. That's what happens.
Well, you know, just taking an offshoot from what Nima is saying, I think for single ladies that are not yet married, I think you need to prep yourself. Because sometimes when you pressure a man too much, you stress the person too much, the person will just wait for you. It's a natural human feeling. Don't worry, when you enter my house, I will now show you who is boss. And that's what usually we see play out when it comes to girls that are very, very difficult. But I think for me, I'm very opinionated, yes. I'm very stubborn as well. But the thing is, in marriage, I think there's nothing that both of us, that can happen that will be like a shocker to me. We know in and out of what this person can do. And this did not happen overnight. I think we all grew into it. You're talking about opinions. I used to be like, you have to take it my way. But I learned that in marriage, you must find a way, you know, to subtly bring your suggestions. I had a very serious meeting yesterday. And this morning when I was discussing with my husband, I was telling him that these are the things that, it's a very serious matter, but I know myself of before. So I think marriage is a ground for growth. So if you are waiting for shockers, you know, you would always find it because you're looking for it. But if you're looking for a way to improve in the marriage, I don't think anything will shock you.
Ooh,
That's what I think.
I have a question though. Some women, especially when they're elderly women, you're 35 and single, you're not going to be looking to know someone for 3 years.
Certainly.
So you're just going to be, are you ready for marriage? 3 months, 6 months. So there's a tendency to find out a lot of things in marriage, especially things that, for instance, what you've described. What do you then do? How do you cope with those surprises when they come at you?
I think you answered that question already. When you identify the key things, those things that actually make your marriage, those are more important, and hopefully those things can supersede other things.
One must identify your deal breakers and what you focus on most. I was discussing yesterday that, I don't really cook as much, and I got back home again and we had the meeting that, Mark, it's true, everybody I speak with, they say, your husband's supposed to eat your food and all that, and it just broke it down. That wasn't the reason for our marriage. I wasn't looking for someone that would be cooking for me. You cook, I would eat, but that's not a deal breaker for me that, my wife doesn't cook at home. It's not a deal breaker. And it's not a deal breaker for me too that he does not eat my food. So that's a deal breaker. So you must understand what is a deal, like, if you do this, in the case, back to our case study.
Yes, I wanted to go back to
there was STD involved. That means there was cheating, and there was cheating, and to the point where there was no protection that brought in an infection. That is a major deal breaker. That is something you can look out for as a single person.
So, Tokwe, back to my question of if you just date a guy for 6 months, what was she looking for when she married him? Because she brought the marriage to social media, people said he married her for her fame. She married him for his money. She now came out and said, which money? I was buying myself all the things that you people think that I'm enjoying. So what was it for her? Is it just that I'm getting old, I want a child? I want a child and I want to do it inside marriage? Because obviously these things are deal breakers for her. She knew them. She hid some of them on his behalf. And then after...
Don't you all
but sometimes you don't know, Jumoke. Let's not assume that, because no woman will go into fire intentionally.
She's confessing now.
I had a friend.
But she didn't admit that she actually knew that this
was
guy
dating other people.
Yeah,
issues of trust sometimes could break a marriage. I had a friend once tell me that she married her husband, and when she lost her first set of twins, then she found out that it was AS, and she was AS. She had said to him at the point of meeting him that I am AS and I would love a husband.
Did he know he was AS?
He said he knew that he was A. He said. And at the time when he now said, okay, I think I'm AS.
He was unsure.
I was not sure. But you know, you can't give a woman a certain answer like that. And you know, for her, that's a major shocker, because
did they not do test?
It's a deal breaker, like Papa is saying.
Don't you do test?
For some people, you don't get to test it.
Yes,
for some people, it's at the point of tell me what you, and you know, you believe in what that person is saying.
We need to go. The issue of test that I trust you. I trust
I'm AS. I don't trust nobody. You have to go and test.
Yeah, let's go and take a break now. We come back. We take some of your views on the phone and tweet. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Thanks for staying with us. Another true life story is a certain lady who got back from work one day and found out her husband was the kingpin of a popular robbery gang and was shot at gunpoint after a robbery attack. You can also, don't forget to give us a call on 070-8066-8014. You can tweet to us at TVC Connect. Please hashtag YourViewTVC. Let me take two other stories. And this story, a gentleman marries a woman and says he's a top director in his office.
Oil and gas.
Married. He's an oil and gas manager, director, living on the island, you know, and whatever, they got married, and later she now found out that he was just maybe like some kind of... He was
the guy was living on the island, like I think it was...
No, that's my story. That's a different story from this. Yeah.
Okay, then there's yet another story of a man who is married to a woman in another country and has children, relocates to Nigeria, and looks like he's looking for a wife. Actually, almost happened to me. I dated a guy. He has a child. I never even knew. I think he was married to the woman, but he told me that he wasn't married to the woman. But he just told me I have a daughter in the US. So I just always assumed that, okay, maybe it was just one of those high school girlfriend kind of thing.
Yeah.
So we started the relationship and we're ongoing. We dated for about 2 months, and sometimes he just got back, and for the whole week I didn't hear from him. I was wondering, I was calling him, he didn't answer. So I went to his house. Of course, the generator was loud, nobody could hear me. I knocked on the door, nobody could hear me. So I walked all the way to his room, and I saw the woman lying down on his bed. Really, really comfortable. This was not my girlfriend type of woman. Like a woman kind of comfortable in my room. I saw the girl walking in. I was like, oh my God. So I've been dating this guy thinking that he's single.
That's the seat.
That's the seat. So these kind of things happen. But so imagine if I just turned a blind eye to that. I said, okay, she's in America. Let me just marry her. That would be that's consensual because I know. But this time, immediately I walked out. That day, I just deleted his number.
Okay, that brings me to the question. Like Uwa said, you grow, you progress, you learn, and you know you can live with certain things. Which surprise would you walk away from?
Where will you draw the line?
Where will you draw the line?
Just us, that's your story.
You said it first.
Where would you draw the line? Because the story someone shared with me was a young girl that she was dating this guy, and of course he would bring every day. He would bring different flamboyant cars to visit her. Then finally they got married and they did the wedding. And for some strange reason, the wedding night, you know, normally she sees his friends around, but that wedding night, she now saw the friends, they were still in the house. But we are married now, can you let the friends go? only for the friends to look at this woman that, what are you saying? It is your husband that is
squatter
here in the house. So why are you looking at it? That night, she packed her things and she went back to her father's house. Now, in that situation, there are two things involved. Me, I don't like being one-sided. No. No. See, me, I believe.
Want to break this issue down. Go ahead.
Me, I believe strongly that for the guy to have deceived her to that level, there must have been something that she must have. There was something he perceived about her. A vibe she was giving him that I don't do this thing. I cannot date a poor person.
Let me take this call from
So
Remy.
of course the guy will give you what you want.
Remy, are you there?
That is the
Hang
seat
in
now.
there. Remy, are you there?
How do you use that one?
Remy from Lagos Island.
Good morning.
Morning, Remy. Go ahead, please. Thanks for calling.
First time caller. You don't contribute to what you are discussing because it just affected me recently.
Oh.
I had a boyfriend who he liked that he was working in NNPC and everything. So recently he called that he had an issue. So me and my mom decided to help. But I'm getting to know, and our wedding is just a few months. I'm getting to know because you know that it's 419. It's a 419 business, and he took some money from us. Now he's on. So we are looking for him right now.
Hey, God has saved you.
Madam, go and do Thanksgiving.
Better for you to lose money than to
Thanksgiving in
lose
church.
yourself.
God bless you.
I've heard a few stories. They say these days, men go to the point of even doing introduction with girls. They know they don't want to marry you. Just because they want to have sexual intercourse with you. They go to the point of introduction. You say you want to be a virgin.
Maybe it's your family that will sponsor introduction.
Some would even marry. You know, there are different levels of deceit. Now, I wanted to bring solution in terms that some guys would lie to women because I mentioned how they perceive you to be.
Yeah, exactly.
If I tell you the truth, you can't handle it. Or maybe he told you something and your reaction. So a lot of men who lie to women is based on, maybe I truly want this woman and this is the only way to get her. So we also have to be careful.
That's
the
not
kind of vibes.
justification.
I'm not saying it's justified. I'm just saying that we also have to be careful the kind of vibes that we give off.
Exactly.
Also, if you try, okay, take your
Let me
phone
take
call.
Karibe from Ikoto. Are you there? Thanks for calling.
Yeah, then good morning, Mugari.
Morning. Thanks for calling. Go ahead, please.
I'm a first-time caller.
Welcome to the show.
I just want to greet you ladies. You're looking good all along.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Hello?
I wanted to say something.
Who was going to? Nima was going to say something.
I was going to say that's not justification. This vibe thing. See, when a person comes out to be who she is, it's either you can handle it or you cannot. The point where you think, okay, no, don't let me just deceive her into it. You know, I thought there was someone who wanted to marry me before my husband, and I felt it was just too nice, because I would really oppress this guy. Like, no, you can't follow me anywhere. You can't come to my house. I will tell him when to visit me and all this. Please, no courtship. No, please give me space. You know, that kind of thing. And it was just too nice. You say, yes, ma. I ran from that person.
Thinking that this person.
Do you understand? So it's not about vibe. This is who I am. This is the kind of woman that I am.
But Nima, are you not better
about vibe?
How will she know? She didn't marry the other guy.
I'm saying is she not better off with Mr. Zibiri now that both of you are working out the situation?
Yes. You don't know that for a fact.
Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. There's a natural stubbornness that every woman has. And I need you to understand that. You need to also look at it that you are marrying somebody to make you a better person. If I marry somebody and is accepting all my flaws,
she's better off.
no, she is better off.
I have a call. Hang in. Everybody pause, please. I have a call. Ayo from Surulere, are you there?
Yes, hello.
Thanks for calling. Go ahead, please.
Good morning, Mariah.
Morning.
Good morning to the ladies.
Morning.
Yeah. What I want to say, I would say that this issues most of the times comes from the women. Now, the reason for that is because most of you women want us to lie to you, based on the fact that how should I put this now? You guys give us reasons to lie to you. Now, a man comes up to you, wants to get married to you, sees how flashy you are, you demand for money every time. You want to buy this, you want to buy this for your sister, you want to go to school. Yes, the man will definitely lie to you because he doesn't have the means to take care of you at the end of the day. So you come up with all sorts of gimmicks and plays and all that for you to
like him.
You get be able to, give in at some point.
Point taken, but that's an integrity issue, though.
There's a part that I think we're missing. I don't think a man can consciously deceive you totally if you are not aware as a lady. You would have sensed something. But sometimes because we're desperate to get married, or because the societal pressure on you to get married, we turn our eye from this, I can cope with it. But you would have seen the feelers that, maybe he calls you and says, oh, I'm in the office, but you can hear, you're supposed to be aware. You can hear that the noise does not sound like office noise, so all those kind of things, but you must be aware, and if need be,
become an investigator.
Unplanned for visits, like the way you did to find out about the person you were dating. Unplanned for, go and visit the person's house. Just go there and find out.
Let me take Marvelous. Marvelous, are you there?
Good morning.
Thanks for calling. Go ahead, please.
Please, I really love your topic today. And to be honest, the fault comes from the woman. Every woman, once you tell them the truth that I'm broke, I'm this, that, I don't worry, I'm planning, I'm working hard for my future. The woman does not hear. She will say, can I solve my problem? I don't want to put food on my table. Let me use the instance of Toto DK and her husband. 3 years ago, when Mercy Johnson was having problems in her marriage, Toto DK told Mercy Johnson that your husband, a prince without a kingdom, now poverty go kill now. You want to marry a broke husband. 2 years now down the line, where is Toto DK now? Our husband slept with Bobrisky, and now they are married to Coco. So women, they should not be. Some women will be the fault as in.
Okay, thank you very much, Marvelous. Maybe the men are aiming too high.
No,
we should find somebody.
See, let me tell you what he's breaking down. You see, me, I know they like to deceive myself. I'm a woman, and I know the kind of demand that a lot of women put on men. Okay. We should stop deceiving ourselves. So sometimes you want to be the high class, whatever. The man will give you what you want to see. And by the time you have entered the house, you know that it's Gary and Granota you'll be drinking.
Okay, I have a question.
That's one. My sister. Wait, Nima, let me finish my point. My sister is not money. My own sister's case. This guy was forming, in-law, this, that. We did introduction. You know what happened? He came to my mother's place and sat down, and he was making a phone call. He was telling somebody that is in Zamfara. You are in Kaduna State, and you are telling somebody you're in Zamfara. My father said, this kind of person will kill my daughter, bury her, and tell me that she relocated to Canada. And that was the reason he dissolved that marriage. Even a slightest lie can give you
the point that I'm making, that the lady would have noticed something, but she turned a blind eye. You would have noticed something.
But remember my brother's marriage. My brother got married. We did engagement. The woman faked pregnancy.
Right, but Murayo, that's it. Thank you to the hospital. The first scan like this, we are rubbing together.
No, but listen. There's an issue of trust. There's an issue of trust. I trust you. I'm dating you. I shouldn't be following you all the time to make sure that there's a baby there.
I want to know my baby is okay.
I'm excited.
I'm excited. You're having twins. Let's go see the doctor together. That is how you do things. You cannot be.
Your mind, you're
where is trust? Let me hear Nima.
Where is trust?
Even if you're investigating.
And then everybody that calls says the woman. If a woman is perceived to be too expensive, must you marry her?
Leave her.
Okay, let me take.
Go and marry the one that is within your budget.
Let me quickly take Grace. Are you there?
Hello. Good morning. My name is Bright.
Good morning. Thank you, Bright. Thanks for calling. Go ahead, please.
My first time calling.
Welcome to the show, Bright. Go ahead, please.
Yeah. Do you know what happened?
Yes.
I have a similar case of this too. Happened to a friend of mine. And this guy believed that he loved this girl so much. So he tried all means to get this girl, but to no avail. So until he lied to this girl, before this girl was like, okay, let me move this guy to the test. But along the line, later the girl now got to know that this guy was lying to him. So he now said, lie, you know what I mean? He's not going to continue again with this guy. So most of the times, the fault comes from women.
I agree.
Okay, all right. Let's take a break. Everyone is blaming the women on this.
I agree, and I'll tell you why.
Let's take a break. When we come back, we'll take more calls and tweets. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Welcome back. All right, let me take Nima. Yes, go ahead.
Like I was saying, everybody that has called now said, it's the girl's fault because she put out the kind of man she wants. And I think that's being honest, saying, I want a man who would pamper me. if you are not rich, marry within your budget. Do you understand? Some girls would even go all the way, love you with everything they have, and you still lie to the girl that you're A when you're A.
Right.
And you understand? Because that's what she wants to hear. You don't marry a woman based on what she wants to hear. If you love her, you be honest enough to tell her what you are.
Okay, let me take this call from Abuja. John, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here, Modayo.
Thanks for calling. Go ahead, please.
This is my first time I'm calling after 6 months trying.
Oh, welcome to the show.
Well, the truth is that I'm 58 years old. And all my life, what I've seen, the problem is the women. If you don't take them,
I agree.
how will you get them?
I agree.
That is the plain truth.
I totally agree.
Let's see some tweets from
tweets. Omolaja says, counselors should tell people you must be prepared for the worst. After the euphoria of being married, marriage is a lot of work. Gabriel says, women are gifted with high intuitive sensing. Only a greedy woman can be deceived by a man. Mr. Fran says, you ladies are making it appear like deceit is strictly a male factor. So not so. Ladies play the game better. Ibrahim says, don't blame men. Women are materialistic and they need lies to grease the relationship. Bosun says, the problem is that people often marry for the wrong reasons. It's important to court for reasonable length of time.
Adebayo Title said, I once told my wife that I grind pepper for a living, but she insisted to marry me. He also said that men spoke the language ladies want to hear, so ladies should be careful of their tune. I agree with with Nima, because you see, if your foundation is bad, whatever building you place on it would not stand. If a man says that I am lying to you because it is what you want to hear, then you are building your marriage and that relationship on the wrong foundation. So it would not work out at the end of the day.
So may I now say why I agree that the problem is with the women? But let me take more tweets. We have a lot. Adefolaju Elizabeth says, even after you move in, change is a constant thing in life. As we grow older, we tend to change in all ramifications. Kome says, being real is key. Deceit always catches up with you. My wife knew I was a stubborn man and scattered person before the fact. Ibrahim says, what can you say about mass marriage done in Kano? It's total deceit. You don't have time to even know each other. Oluwaseun says, you can't know your spouse in a day. As time goes on, gradually you get to know him or her well before it becomes a lifetime thing. Why do I agree that the problem is with the women? Now, a few women may, because they're materialistic, make a few men start to lie. Now, when I tell her that I'm a bricklayer, I'm going somewhere, I have a vision, she will go and follow the man that has a car. So me too, I'm going to be pretending like I have a car. Now, if you're a good woman going somewhere, looking for a man, not about money, but we have a vision together. If a man comes to you with deceit, God has given women intuition. So if you are a woman heading somewhere, you can't, except you marry him in 3 months, except you marry him in 3 or 6 months, where a guy says he works in NNPC and you marry him, you've never been to his office. A guy drives a car and you have been to different cars and you have never even questioned how he bought the car and you married him.
What if a man has married another woman in America and his children and you don't know that? He comes to Nigeria.
So you don't marry a man without knowing his family, especially in our culture. So his mother too is also going to deceive you. Certainly. His siblings are also going to deceive you. That is a ground for divorce if they do that, because you can't know everything.
Okay, let me come to
Adefolaju Elizabeth says, bad sides should be put forward first, just to have an idea of how tolerant your spouse can be, which is what Nima did. I am stubborn. Let it be known. If you can deal with it, let's go ahead.
Deal with it during courtship. After marriage,
you now change.
So that's deceit.
That's deceit.
Okay.
Like, jokingly. Okay, sorry. Let me let Uwa go.
See, I don't think it is deceit. Me, I believe that marriage, because no matter how much you know the person, until you do those I do's and you enter the house, then you start to discover new things about that person. I believe marriage is a beautiful thing. I don't like that idea of those extremes that you come and lie, that you do this and do that. Because you see, even this deceit you're talking about, people that are very wealthy have had to cut down their size to become paupers just to look for a good wife. Because they are afraid that women are because women are giving up this vibe, and we need to correct it, that we are materialistic. We are not materialistic.
It's poverty.
A woman, no.
Nobody wants to live in poverty.
No, a woman, like, and generalizing it, because a Twitter was saying that women are materialistic. Generalizing it is very painful.
Some women.
And that is why women, we need to work hard to tell these men
Sometimes
that
it's
we
not
are
about
not,
wealth.
it is not about your
Or
money.
yes.
What I'm looking for is quality character.
Men come for women's money these days, you know.
Yes,
Even
sir.
women have to open their eyes. That the
be
man,
sure.
no, he's not driving a bigger car so that you think that is okay. Meanwhile, he's going for you just for your money. Many men these days are even marrying girls born by
50,
rich
50.
parents.
Yes.
Because of you know that you not allow your daughter to suffer in my house now. So women have to open their eyes, use the intuition that God gave to you. Also, you must study, you must become an investigator. You don't just marry somebody without knowing his. In the days of our grandparents, before they give a daughter, they must investigate.
Yes.
Where is our investigation now? Because the man says he's oil and gas.
You see, let me
you
tell
go
you,
and marry
this
him.
thing you just said now, it cuts across. You see somebody that was a nobody, all of a sudden the person is driving an SUV, the person is living in Banana Island. We don't question it.
You can't marry him.
Outside marriage,
Marriage.
right now, our morals are gone down. So we do not even question.
They're young girls,
I think as a
they're young
people-
girls even
Yes.
that try to become a Rihanna. They have this they have the tush outlook. And they know that they are coming, because I know a girl, oh goodness, I know a girl.
Does she have good
I know
mentors?
where she used to, where she lives, where she steps out, she wears on an accent. She looks so amazing, and then she walk herself into this A-class group of people. She did that. Finally, she got married to this A-class person. But then it was a what they call eventually they now realize this girl is not as tush.
I think that in life you can aspire for what you want to be, and there's no problem with saying that I was born in Ajegule, I be AJ Babe, but I want to live in Banana Island, and I walk my way there, and I build a class around myself. But you must have substance to back up what you're saying.
That's what I'm
so
saying.
you must build yourself on the inside to be able.
What I'm saying is you can aspire to get there, but you see when it's this seat where you actually wear on a character.
You pretend like you are who you are not.
Yes.
So that is the issue.
And the person marries you because they think you are in there.
But there's nothing wrong with aspiration for young girls out there.
We're not talking about
but
aspiration.
focus on yourself. Nobody wants a
Okay.
liability, nobody wants the seat. What you give out is what you will get.
It's not good.
If you're hardworking and you're
totally
making your
agree.
own money, the man will not lie to you because he can see that you have the right value. So we must look within and focus on building the right values and giving up the right vibes to ourselves.
Let me make it funny. Don't wear an accent to deceive a man, because when the shock has come, it is you that will now forget your accent.
But Morayo, you described a lady who is a celebrity today, coming from somewhere. She wanted to be somebody, pretended to be who she was not, and she got married to a big guy. Today she's divorced because the guy has gone on, you know, to be who he is also. So my pastor always says that if you come to church pretending to be born again, as a guy, you want to marry sister. The sister you marry is the one that is also pretending
because
to be someone else. So be yourself and prayerfully go into your courtship. You will learn the most that you need to learn.
All right. On that note, we can end this segment.
Yes.
You're very rowdy today.
Sorry, you know we're so sorry. It's a passionate topic.
It's very difficult to hold you guys.
No, I wasn't talking so much.
All right. That's all we can take on the show today. Thanks for joining us. Have a lovely day. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.